This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Attitash Mountain Village. Book your stay directly through the link on our homepage, onedegreeoutside.com. Midday update for you here on a Saturday as the snow continues to fly 1 degree outside. Meteorologist Matt Noyce, you can see the radar showing snow over a good broad portion of New England right now, although it's been lighter the farther south you go and the farther northeast you go for different reasons. But bottom line, you don't have the same kind of clash of air going on in parts of far southern New England. You got about a quarter to an inch. We're at about 1 to 3 now. All these little dots you see are the reports. Your reports we appreciate. Many of you are reporting to us through the app. And also, this is the National Weather Service Skywarn Spotter Network, which is so instrumental in getting us updates during these storms. What's really interesting is we had told you in the Insights video leading into this about the Norlund Trough, the shift in the wind and the kind of disturbance of the pressure field that would be setting up way northwest of the storm out over the ocean. You can actually see what it's doing. Look at this. There's been a little what we call meso low pressure. It's this little area of a storm center that develops right along the wind shift, and it's been right in here enhancing some of the snow. That's why higher amounts are going to come out of southeast Essex County, and then you get a little bit more fluffy nature to the snow the farther north and west you go, and that's why we've been talking about northeast Mass, southeast New Hampshire, seeing some of the most enhancement. Boston's been sitting just south of that, but you won't stay south of that entirely because you can see here's that enhanced area of snow. There's the little swirl that shows up in there as well. Well, what's happening right now is we've got this broad area of snow kind of pulsing through, so it all gets enhanced. Once that goes by, this little zone is going to drop down over Boston Harbor. It may scrape the city. Probably the heaviest stays just out over the ocean. Then it drops down through the South Shore and eventually down to the Cape. Farther to the north, though, we've got a little feed of moisture trying to come in off the Gulf of Maine as well. So that'll enhance amounts for you if you're sitting far enough east in Maine. And I'll show you that here in the additional snow forecast in one moment. Visibility generally has been a mile or less when you get from Essex County in areas north of Boston of the North Shore, running up into eastern New Hampshire. And this is going to be the zone where you'll end up getting your highest amounts of about 2 to 4 inches by the time all is said and done. Total amounts so far an inch or greater through much of the Boston area running up into southern New Hampshire. Send us your reports, your photos too, if you'd like. We always do that photo segment every week, and we'd love to feature some of them. Just send it to us in the Send to Us tab at the bottom of our app, which is also, by the way, where you can follow along with the radar and the forecast. So road conditions, yes, snowy roads in a lot of spots, but I'll say this, actually chemical treatments have been doing pretty well out on some of the major interstates, and that's because temperatures have been running close to 30 degrees. Even rock salt will work when you're 28 or warmer. Now, of course, sometimes the snow rate can overwhelm that, but not today. It's been fairly light overall by New England standards. Admittedly, the farther north and west you go, the farther below 28 you go. Salt not as effective. Chemicals have to be used. And even when you get into some parts of central New England, it's just been a little bit too much to overwhelm that too. But you can see on the bigger picture, there's the storm. It's way out over the ocean. It's even outside of radar coverage. But again, we've got that wind shift kind of coming back in over us. By mid to late afternoon, you still have snow showers going on. There it is. There's that little swirl trying to develop along the wind shift zone, dropping probably just over the harbor. Then it comes into the South Shore. You get your best burst at the South Shore of Massachusetts as we get to the mid to late afternoon and early evening. That drops to the Cape where we've gone to rain, but you will start to find a falling temperature, and you'll probably end as some snow, maybe for a coating. I think the bigger thing, though, is if you treat roads or walkways and parking lots on the Cape, just keep in mind you may get some icing going on as we head toward this evening. Notice by 9 p.m., temperature dropping down below freezing. Most of us by that point have dried out pretty well. So additional snow after midday, basically from this recording onward for you, is going to be on the order of a coating to an inch for many. But there is that higher amount that shows up from the South Shore down to the Cape, 1 to 2 inches in here, because you've got to get that burst to come on through. And also when you get a little bit of that fluffier nature of the snow, you may get a little over an inch additional. Farther north that you go, there is that fluffy nature to the snow, plus what we call some upslope flow, some enhancement in the mountains coming in from a wind out of the north. And there's that moisture we talked about trying to come in off the Gulf of Maine, abroad 2 to perhaps as much as localized 3 additional inches to go after midday on Saturday. Overnight tonight, temperatures dropping down to about 20 degrees or so, the wind coming out of the north-northwest. And tomorrow doesn't look bad at all. The wind's going to be fairly light. Look at your temperatures. Let me get out of the way if you're in western New England. But bottom line, we're talking about temperatures up over the melting point. So if you can get the driveway scraped down and show some pavement, it'll make some progress on its own tomorrow after that. Temperatures running above the melting point all the way into the lakes region for that matter as well. And then you're hovering in the upper 20s for highs tomorrow when you get across the North Country. In northern Maine, where we miss most of this snow as it comes on through, tomorrow is going to be running about 25 to 30 degrees or so. So just a reminder here that we'll stay with you and update you as needed, but I think this gets you anyway through the remainder of the day today. Stay posted with our app. Noise 1 degree outside weather, and we will look forward to seeing you again with another update later on.